Good afternoon. I would like to talk to you about, do you really trust God with your finances? God has a whole lot to say about finances in the Old Testament and then coming through to the New Testament. And it doesn't change. Some people say, oh, God said to the Old Testament people 10%. Well, he's saying that in New Testament too. But they want the favor of man, so they water it down with, oh, whatever you and God say, that's okay. That's a bunch of baloney. Here today, gone tomorrow. Whatever you have a whim to give. That's not how God works. Okay, you want me to prove it? All right. Let's go into Numbers chapter 20. We're going to start with verse 8. Now, the people were in dire need at that time. They were in the middle of a desert. I guess there was 1 million people, cows, everything. Donkeys, camels, you name it, it was there. They were coming to Moses. We need some water. So Moses went to the Lord, and the Lord spoke to Moses. That's verse 7. Verse 8. This is Numbers chapter 20, verse 8. Take the rod, and you and your brother Aaron assemble the congregation and speak to. God was very direct. Speak to the rock before their eyes, that it may yield its water. Well, that sounded pretty foolish to Moses. You shall thus bring forth water for them out of the rock, and let the congregation and their animals drink. So Moses took the rod from before the Lord, just as he had commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered all the people before the rock, and he said to them, listen now, you rebels. It's always somebody else that's the rebel, you know. Listen now, you rebels. Shall we bring forth water for you out of this rock? Verse 11. Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock. He didn't speak to it. He struck the rock twice with his rod. And water came forth abundantly, the congregation and their beasts drank. The water came out. Boy, it looks like Moses, he's got a pretty tough hand, right? A lot of strength there in that arm. That's what he thought too. Verse 12. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you have not believed me, to treat me as holy in the sight of the sons of Israel. Therefore, you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. That is pretty direct. That is pretty focused. And that is, he was not happy with Moses. He gave the people water, okay? He loved the people. But he was not happy with Moses. Moses did not see the new land that was promised to the Israelite people because of that. Because he did not treat God as holy. Okay, so that's Old Testament. Now we're still talking about finances and provision. Okay, so let's go to 1 Corinthians, New Testament, chapter 3. Verse 19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness before God. What did Moses do? Wisdom of man. Hey, it's going to look a whole lot better if I use my hand and I just hit it with my rod and look at it breaks apart. God didn't tell him to do it that way. Verse 19. The wisdom of this world is foolishness before God, for it is written, He is the one who catches the wise in their craftiness. Craftiness. Oh, I'll use the wisdom of my head. I'll use the wisdom of my soul. I'll use the wisdom of, I see the facts. That is going to, if I hit it with the rod, it might even crush out way open. Okay? Using wisdom of the world does not please God. Will you believe him with everything that is within you, with your finances? Okay? Old Testament, 10% tithe. Trust the Lord with everything that's in you. Okay. So, verse 20 in 1 Corinthians 3, the Lord knows the reasonings of the wise, that it's useless. Whoa. Yeah. God gave his word to see who would trust him. Go way back to Adam and Eve. Eve goes, oh, that is such a good apple. God won't care if I just have one apple. Yeah. Try that one on for size. Okay. Let's go on to chapter 4, verse 5. Therefore, do not go on passing judgment before the time, but wait until the Lord comes, who will both bring to light things hidden in the darkness and disclose the motives of one's heart. Wow. The motive. Oh, God didn't really mean that. That's too difficult to believe for. I mean, that sounds impossible. Motives of man's heart. The big thing is, are you going to do it your way? Are you going to hit the rock with the rod? Or are you going to speak to the rock because God told you what to do? What will look better in the sight of man, favor of man? Do you want the favor of man or the favor of God? And then you keep saying, you know, I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and people said, this is on finances specifically right now, the people said, oh, it's okay. You don't have to do 10%. You don't have to do 10% in the offerings. Do you trust the Lord with your finances? Because he's very specific. Are you going to use your own wisdom, the wisdom of man? Chapter 4, verse 1. Let a man regard us in this manner, as servants of Christ, stewards of the mysteries of God. God has many mysteries. The way that we see them fold open in front of us, trust him with all of our heart. Step into obedience, and you will see God providing through miracles, signs, and wonders. I love you all. Take care.